Putting it into a plan.
Welcome back. We're going to make you into a power LinkedIn user if it's going to kill us. And we're talking about putting it into a plan, how to use your LinkedIn network to gain prospects. What are we talking about here, Hannah?
Okay, so today we're going to talk about, a lot of people will just, they'll throw their LinkedIn profile up there, and it just is kind of like a billboard, and it just stays parked there, and they never see any traction from it, and then they think, well, LinkedIn doesn't really work. I don't understand it, I don't
Right.
even bother with that. I don't have time. And it's really because, they're not using a strategic plan to actually make it work for them. It's a great opportunity. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, about, how to make it work for you.
How to put it into a plan, a strategic. I love it. So let's talk specifics here. So what are the three main points we're going to cover today?
Okay, so today we're going to first talk about making sure that you're developing your network, okay, and your connections, okay, and then how to start nurturing that a little bit. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is how to tag those connections so that you can send them targeted messages. And then how to develop that drip campaign, and also how to get back in touch with some of the people that you've connected to that maybe you haven't really capitalized on those opportunities with.
Excellent. Well, this is going to be great, Hannah, because I think you're so right. There's so many people who, you have that conversation, hey, do you use LinkedIn? LinkedIn doesn't really work for me that much. Well, you're right. What's the plan? How are you using LinkedIn as opposed to just being on LinkedIn? And I got to say, probably most people are just on LinkedIn and aren't really using LinkedIn. So we're going to give people some strategy, and I'm looking forward to learning this. So let's go through these bullet points here. So developing a larger network and nurturing that network both sound like really important things. So give us some tips for actually working this plan.
Right. So a lot of people think, okay, well, I'm going to put in this, this some time and develop my profile, and then I'm going to show up in search, and anytime someone puts in, marketing executive, and I'm going to show up, and everyone's going to be calling me. And that's not how.
Tons of magical business, right?
Yes, it doesn't work. It's very important that you optimize your profile so that, you are being able to be found through that keyword search. But actually, LinkedIn heavily weighs how many connections you have. And actually, when someone does a search, by default what happens is that their first level connections come up. Okay? So the more people that you connect to, the more groups that you join, the more interactive you are, the more you're actually going to show up on LinkedIn when someone types in those keywords that they need your services. So you want to really make sure that you are actively connecting to people. So when you're out at a networking event, you're actually, you have a conversation, just say, hey, I'd love to connect as you're leaving. Love to connect on LinkedIn and learn a little bit more. We didn't have a lot of time to talk today. Whatever.
Okay, so when it comes to building your network, size does matter, huh?
Yes, size does matter, yes. So, exactly.
Okay, so build a big network,
Yes, big networks. And then what you want to do is, again, using some of the things we talked about before with advanced search, searching in groups, searching within your, your connections, so that you are consistently building out that network.
Well, and I think, to step back for 1 second, I think one of the powerful things you're reminding everybody here is that LinkedIn is not just a place to plunk a profile and be passive. LinkedIn is a place that if you want to get value, it's an active place. It's an active networking space. It's not just a plunk down my information and passively wait for people to show up, right?
Exactly. It's a very active, thriving community, and you want to be part of it. This is where the business people are really there to learn about their business, make other connections that they can refer work to, but you got to put, something into it. You got to give back.
And that's what you mean, so build the network, but then nurture the network is about making these engagements, participating, reaching out to people, sharing some good content, right? Sharing some tips that they might get value out of. So making yourself a useful member of the community, right?
Right. And then by the time, when you do all those sorts of things and start nurturing that, it's just going to make it that much easier for you to shorten your sales cycle and all that stuff because you've already actively given to them. So
makes sense. Absolutely. Well, now let's move on to another bit of this kind of power tips. I mean, we've mentioned this in previous episodes, but I think it's really worth digging into a little bit. It was really useful for me when you started teaching me about this tagging function and
yes.
looking at interests and categories. So let's talk a little bit more about how you recommend we use that tagging function
Sure.
with our connections.
Sure. So when you have when you first connect to somebody, what you want to do is, you can ideally tag them into a category or whatever it is that you will that resonates with you. Okay, they're not going to see it. I mean, of course I wouldn't write like, idiots that I have to connect to because my mom said I did, you know what I mean?
Never contact this person again.
Yeah, exactly. But
right.
you want to just go ahead and connect to them and put them in a category, and it's very simple to do that. If you
and how do I do that? I mean, walk me through that, because I mean, I think a lot of people aren't using that function at all. Where do I do it? How do I do it?
Sure. So at the top of your profile, you will see a little section that says connections. And you just click on there, and then you pull up their, the person that you want to, and you just put in like.
So there's a field there where I can enter whatever whatever. And these are my personal keywords that I get to choose how I want to categorize them.
And there's not like and you can add them to more than one or whatever. So yes, so that's what you want to do, and then you want to start to develop a campaign where you kind of talk to them and develop that relationship, nurture that relationship, where you say, hey, thanks for connecting, really appreciate it, so excited to learn more and to keep in touch here on LinkedIn. Number one.
And just to be super clear, when you're talking about creating a campaign, now this is not a LinkedIn specific function, right? Or am I missing? There's no building the campaign, right? You're saying build a campaign that is your strategic plan that you're then going to use on LinkedIn, right? But
yes, so all you're doing is, like, say you've created, and you can do it beforehand, okay, where maybe you have like 4 key messages that you want to, send to them, okay, like scripts or something. Yeah. And you can just add that, so you're pushing them through the funnel. So the first message is, thanks so much for reaching out, or thanks so much for connecting, want to keep in touch here. Very simple, very light touch. Okay, the second one is, hey, I noticed that you do a lot of work in the automotive industry, and I came across this great article discussing some of the limitations that are happening because of the economy. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, again, light touch. Third, like, hey, there's a great discussion going on in this group. Love to have you join. Just thought of you. Whatever. Then the fourth touch is, hey, I haven't had a chance to really talk to you, and I love to really get to know my connections a little bit more in depth than just using LinkedIn. Would love to, set up a time to talk a little bit more about your business and see, like, maybe who, we can connect to with one another or something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Anna, in case anyone from LinkedIn is listening, I want to put in my suggestion box here and my wish list for LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn, how about you guys create like a strategic partnership with like MailChimp or Aweber or iContact, and we can actually create this campaign in LinkedIn and have it actually be programmed? If they're listening?
Well,
okay.
This is kind of going more towards, they're trying to do like a CRM kind of model. So
that would, but if we could create an autoresponder sequence, that'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? But not there now, so let's move on. Okay, so this is the drip campaign you're talking about, so that you're mapping out a series of messages. I could do this in a Word document, let's say, or something like that, where I've crafted my sequence. And then I'm pulling it in
with it per person.
Right, I personalize it for each of the people I'm sending it out to. So that, again, I'm being social. And again, in fairness to LinkedIn, I think that's probably why they don't want to do the autoresponder thing, is that they want to force people to stay personal, stay social, stay one-on-one, and stay in that networking mode rather than marketing, to a whole group. So I get it, but I still would like it, Cool. This is excellent stuff, Hannah. So again, we're talking about, building a bigger network, nurturing that network, getting strategic with the tools that are in there, using tagging, and so that you're kind of classifying the people that are in your network so you can sort your list and pull it out, and then developing a sequential content, a drip campaign, a series of messages that are going to help you nurture those leads and those relationships, and doing that and bringing it into LinkedIn so that you can kind of build up and build the connections. Good stuff, Hannah. Appreciate it. So this has been all about how to use your LinkedIn network to gain more prospects. We're going to do lots more great episodes. Hannah's our LinkedIn expert. She's teaching me lots of stuff. She's teaching you lots of stuff. Keep coming back for more new episodes coming soon here. So till next time, thank you so much, Hannah.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.